Right, this is tissues that are in the digestive system. Now, I'm going to focus in on these different areas, but I'm just going to point it out. I'm sure you can't see it from there, but there's the esophagus. This is the stomach tissues. This is the small intestine, and this is the rectum. Now we're going to see what the layering of those tissues is. Alright, I believe I have found all of these tissues in mud fossils, and I will show you them in a minute, but I'll show you the tissues first. It's Roger, Mudfossil University, and I am talking about this right here is the esophagus. This is the layers of the tissue in the esophagus. This right here is the layers of tissue in your stomach. This right here is your small intestine. And this right here is the rectum. Now, these are all very specialized tissues. They absorb, they do all kinds of different functions on the pathway of your food going through your digestive system. So, what can we look at? You know, we can look at the stomach tissue, we can look at these things, all of these little things sticking up. Now, I want you to notice these things sticking up, because this is what I have been looking around the earth for and finding these crazy sticking up things that are layered and have a hell of a time explaining. But, sure enough, there they are. And they are enormous, as is everything else that I have pointed out. It appears the Titans were the Titans. The Earth is a creature, we're made of creatures. I mean, that's all I can say. Obviously, these creatures appear not to be alive anymore, but they were apparently alive once, because you don't get these structures coming from nothing. Everybody looks at these things and says, wow, look at that, isn't that cool? They go home. I have a hard time doing that, and I found what I'm looking for there. So I'll show you what they are. Now, you can go back to these later, but this is the esophagus. And you have certain tissues, and they go a little deeper, a little deeper, a little deeper, and then you go to the base. All right, now, then if you go down to the next one, but look at the structures, because the structure is what I'm talking about. And that one there is not specifically that important, because I don't see that, well, I maybe see that stuff, I haven't really looked. Now, I just came across this. Now, you see this one here? This is your stomach, and this is things that are in your stomach, the little things that stick up, and all the layers of the tissue and the lining of the stomach and all that. Now, and you can look closely at that structure. And what will happen is that in between these uprights, it will erode away, because they really are separate, almost separate, or separate in your body, and they will erode away between them very easily, where the spikes sticking up do not erode as easily. Now, we go down to the next one down here, which is where I'm seeing a lot of this, I think. This is your intestines, small intestine. All right? And if you look close at that, you're going to see there's a layer at the top of those spikes. You got the pins, you got the oversides, you got this thing at the top, and they all have some kind of basement layer, and they have laminations, very, very interesting looking patterns once they erode. And the same thing down here. Now, this is the rectum, and I have found areas that are just unbelievable looking mounds, really, of cellular of these kind of bumpy looking things, and they ended up being a inverted rectum, which blows out when they expand. And I forget, can't remember the name of it, but prolapse, a rectal prolapse, where it goes out backwards. And it's a very interesting looking pattern. Now, so now that we've seen all of these things with these spikes and everything, think of what these are going to look like when they erode. First of all, they turn sort of hard, but this is very, very soft tissues. I mean, it's in your gut. It's like it's not your structural tissues. Let me put it that way. They're not connective tissues and the real hard limestones and things like that. These are things that erode away fairly easy. However, there will be caps on them that are different than the stalks underneath that may protect them. And that is what I think I saw. So let's take a look at that. All right, and I believe it's these kind of patterns that I'm seeing that have these caps and these stalks and things like that. And there is a lot of that stuff around. I mean, this talks about 60 mind-bending rock formations. And I believe this is what has eroded and caused these particular things. Because there's cavities in them, like these people carved them, they say, and I'm sure they did, but there's a lot of natural cavitation in these things. All right, so they're things that they're all over the place too, and there are a lot of different makes and models. It's what it is. What it is. That's all I can tell you. And these things were gigantic creatures. Now, some of these are not. Like this stuff here, that is a kidney. That's kidney. I'm almost certain that's a kidney. And look at this. Look at that. I'm almost certain that's a kidney. There's one, I forgot where it was. I did a video on it, but there's no question it's a kidney. I think this is absolutely a kidney too. And I think this might even be the one I did. But stuff like this here, you see all these layering and stuff? That's what we're looking at in that anatomical model. And the Earth is, I'm telling you right now, I don't care what you say. You can say anything you want, but I'm going to tell you a fact that the Earth is literally covered with creatures. All of that stuff, this is not accidental. That is limestone tendinous material, which is fibrils. And it's all over the Earth, and it comes on right up your tendons. And Devil's Tower, I think I saw it on here. Yeah, right there. That is not anything other than a foot. That's a foot, and it goes. The wrinkle zone up at the top here is where the tendon breaks, and it breaks flat as a pancake. It's called the abrupt transition. This is tendon fibrils. They're the hex fibrils. They're limestone CaCO3 with impurities in there, different minerals and metals, and then they are coated with a slip of kaolin clays. A lot of them, red and black and orange looking. Ooh, it's really blood. It's fascia. And I'll show you how it's built anatomically, and then I'll let you go. All right, these are tendons that run up your legs and so forth, and the outside edges come off them, and you end up with these hex fibrils in there. These are the hex fibrils that you see, and they end up going all the way down to here and to here, and then you end up right here. And I mean, these are, some of them are gigantic, and that is what is wrapping around the foot, coming up at Devil's Tower. And they will actually break in what's called an abrupt transition, and it'll break straight across. I have all of this stuff documented. And if you go to a good tendon specialist, they'll tell you, it breaks right at a certain place, and then you get a really wrinkly, because it's under tension, it's pulling like this, it snaps, it goes bling, and you get this little wrinkly spot, and then it starts running down all of these little tendon fibrils. That's what happened. And then above that, where it meets up to the red flesh, that erodes away. It's very soft and erosive, erodes away, and you end up with the tendon fibrils, and it just flat as a pancake top. The abrupt transition. All right, this is not the best to see, but this is your tendon implants here, and these come straight out here, the tendon fibrils, and that's this stuff. That's the abrupt transition, and I mean, this is just zip straight across. These are the fibrils that run up those and down as well. Those are the hex fibrils, and then you get this little wrinkly zone. All right, and it's like 2 microns. It's just as flat as a pancake. And this is the structure of tendons. They're made blocky. You're made literally in layers. I got a lot of research on this. All you got to do is look. You saw the tendon fibrils, and that's these. All right, and these are the fibrils. Now, where the tendons break, and it breaks virtually the same spot on everybody, because it's what's called the abrupt transition, and it breaks there because the tendinous material, which is extremely tough here, starts to step down to a different material, and when it does, it has a line that breaks across in that abrupt flat spot. You'll see little tiny wrinkles here. All right. it's just like up there. Well, the reason is because it's on extreme tension and it snaps, and then you get a wrinkle zone, and then it goes back down to your solid looking fibrils. And you see that on all of, well, not all of them, but you see it on most of the sticking up straight feet. And then a lot of them are feet. These are feet. I'm telling you, Devil's Tower is a foot, absolutely. And why you don't see 2 feet normally is because the second foot is usually, these died in the flood. These all died in the flood, a huge, gigantic flood. It's all written about in the Bible, drowned the giants, and they were giants, and they drowned. Now, they would have been standing in the mud. One foot is trying to come up, and the other one is pushing down. So one is going to be down, and one is going to be closer to the surface. That is what I have found. Now, I have also found all the rest of, not all the rest of, but a lot of the rest of Devil's Tower, because it's all there, but it erodes like crazy, the weak stuff. This is the tough stuff. It's your connective tissues. Bones are the weakest thing in the whole place. Bones, they don't last at all. The rest of the stuff shows up almost perfect, except bones completely go away because they're extremely volatile in these watery conditions, and they just get dissolved. Well, they don't dissolve really. They transform into source rock, which is fossil fuels, really. And I've showed this many times. So what it is, what it is. So let me just end with one last statement. Okay, just go to YouTube, put in mud fossil, all one word, mud fossil gold. And what are you going to get? You're going to get mud fossil gold, easy to find. Here's how. Gold foot proves mud fossil flood theory. Massive gold deposits disclosed by MFU. Finding gold in mud fossils. Gold sources disclosed. There's gold in them dark turds. And it goes on and on. Devil's Tower gold located. The draining of the Sahara. Mud fossil memoirs. I mean, we got it all. Step right up, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, that I told you. There it is right there. Devil's Tower gold. There's the abrupt transition. There's the wrinkle zone. There's the splay of the foot. There's the fibrils. There's the, every now and then you see the little red and yellow fascia float. There's the abrupt transition. Breaks flat as a pancake. Okay, Mudfossil University. Come up here. We all share things. When I post something, I'm the only one really that posts things, because I want to keep it into an area that's realistic. I don't want all of this crazy, insane things posted on my stuff. So when I post it up here, everybody can comment. They can talk about things, you know, real things. Now, we have almost, well, we'll have 32,000 by the end of the day. I got 31,925 here. We are growing fast, and the people that are coming are interested in reality. And that's what I want, reality. And I want to just expose it. So, come to Mudfossil University. Daily, it's videos, because there's so much needs to be explained that hasn't been explained. So, if you find something that you disagree with, that's fine. But don't tell me that you can't see this or you can't see that, and there's really something there. I mean, you could challenge what I say about my mud fossils and things, but I don't want you telling me there's no space station or Mercury or Mars or any of that stuff. It just doesn't work anymore, please, because I do my research in around world and in space, meteors, comets, Mars, all of that stuff. So please, I'm you know, it's not respectful. First of all, because it has nothing to do with that. My research is what I see and what I'm reporting on. And when you start just attacking me for seeing the things I see that you can't see, then I just have to remove you. So I don't want to do that. I want everybody to learn something, but I'm not going to take assaults. All right, thanks.